My dear friends, I wonder if many of you, like me, are feeling just a little overwhelmed by what has happened in our lives these last few months. So many of the basic habits of our lives to which we'd normally pay no attention, the ability to go to a shop, to touch a loved one, to move from one place to another without worrying about coming too close to a stranger's breath, all these things have become rare and strange. I do believe that God is in this process, and I shall say more about that on another occasion. But today, I want to say something briefly about our worries. For in the face of such drastic and fundamental changes, worry is something that comes naturally to the human condition. We've experienced a shock, and once that has happened, then we become wary of further shocks, our eyes scanning the horizon for what might be next. Jesus gives us some clear teaching in this situation. In Matthew's Gospel, in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says, "Do not worry, for which of us by worrying can increase our span of life? Sufficient unto the day are the troubles thereof." In other words, each day do what can be done, what is right to be done, but everything else let go. Delegate it upwards. Place it into our Father's hands. If it is not something that we can directly control, then worrying about it doesn't aid anyone. We have to let go and let God. Which is what Jesus is doing in our passage today from John. He's praying to the Father, and he's praying about us. He knows that when he is no longer in the world, he will no longer be able to act directly to shepherd his disciples. So he prays to the Father that the Father will protect them. Holy Father, protect them, he prays. Do we believe that the Father listens to the prayers of the Son? Is Jesus' prayer effective? I believe so. And that means that we are protected from the world. We have that peace which the world cannot give. This doesn't mean that things will not go wrong for us, hardly that. It means that what the world gives, money, popularity, influence, and so on, no longer has any value for us. So when the world withdraws it, we do not feel any loss. Instead, we have what Jesus prays for us. He says this prayer so that we might have the full measure of his joy in us. Jesus shows us how to cope with all the stresses and strains that we experience in our lives. We do what we can, and what we can't do, we hand over to God. Father, I place into your hands the things I cannot do. Jesus has handed us over to his Father's hands. So let us rest there, safely and peacefully, whatever our present circumstances, sharing in that heavenly joy. Until we meet again. Amen.